clarify certain issues about where I stand, where I don't stand, etc., etc. And let's focus on one thing very clear. Who's going to win, Mazzei or AG Gentner Drummond? Right now, beyond a doubt, the Drummond campaign is really on a momentum. At the start of the campaign several months ago, it is very clear, with the endorsement of President Donald Trump, the victor would have been easily Mike Mazzei, because he promised so many things, and it just made this Oklahoma populace believe in him. No property taxes for the elderly, the list goes on. But when you cut taxes, where are you going to get the revenue? And that's why most of the Oklahomans right now believe that Drummond, who is a born and raised citizen of this great state, knows Oklahoma the best. He will make tough decisions. Some will be unpopular, but it is for the good of the Oklahoman citizens. So my vote, and I will support Governor Drummond for that. Why? Because he has strong influence in agricultural Oklahoma, and at the same time, greater Oklahoma City. I repeat, I will influence my 6,000 voters to vote for Gentner Drummond, Attorney General Drummond. I like the ideas of Mazzei, but I don't think he is going to be able to complete 100% of it. Probably 30%, but 100%, it's not feasible. It's not practical. It's not going to happen. We've seen it before. There might be a possibility, just like what's happening in New York right now. There are certain stores that are doing well with the selling of consumer products to the hard-up New Yorkers. It's kind of working, meaning to say, you know, in the retail world, there are certain products that you really don't make money. That's very clear. You make half a percent because of competition, because of so many issues. But one thing is very clear in retail. If you have a strong consumer base, you're going to make it. And that's what's happening in the what we call the New York stores for the general public of the New York citizens. It's working, surprisingly, okay? But now the question is this, will it last? Because as you know, comparing private sector to government sector is always not there. In other words, there is a tendency to be lax. Unlike in the private sector, it's always exacting, and you get fired. You get fired immediately once there is a mistake or a blunder. So going back to the elections, Mazzei versus Drummond, who is going to win? Who is going to win? Right now, there is a strong vote for Drummond because of the women's vote. The women of Oklahoma like Drummond because he's very executive, very cordial, very proper. He's a lawyer. He will make Oklahoma better than before. On the other hand, if Mazzei is going to literally push the persons who make him look awkward, literally out of the bus, his image will somehow rise again, primarily because of the endorsement of President Donald Trump. Remember, Oklahoma is a red state, a die-hard red state. And a lot of people are now saying, it's not going to happen for long. Okay, then do it. Oklahoma is a very conservative state. It doesn't want to be associated with certain blue states like California because precisely it is a very conservative state. And in my opinion, living here, the first time I went here was in 1999, and it's not the same anymore. It has progressed. Leaps and bounds. And so, relocating here from Irvine, California, from 2016 to 2026, that's about 10 years, more or less, because I fly a lot. This is what I can tell you. Governor Stitt, I think, did a great job. Oh my God, I really salute you for your leadership skills and talents. Despite the many brickbats against you, Governor, you did a tremendous job making the state the 5th surplus state of the United States. That is impossible 5 years ago. When you're going to tell me, hey, you know what? Oklahoma is going to be the 5th surplus state, I would say, wow, that is a big statement. But Governor Stitt did it. But the problem with the governor, as you know very well, is that, again, there are too many hangers-on, making him a very controversial governor. But from the bottom of my heart and deep down in my soul, Governor Stitt, this is what I can tell you. You will be in history, declared as one of the greatest governors, not only in the United States, but other parts of the world. You will be the model governor of so many governors in the future because of your so many innovations, your very, very hands-on leadership, and above all, the right economic policies, the right policies to govern. Now, I might get hit there by your competition. I guess yes, because obviously you cannot control the whole government all of a sudden, because there are some questions about this and that, questioning why did that happen, why did you do that. Again, summing everything up, he still did the impossible by making Oklahoma the 5th surplus state in the United States, which could have never happened without Governor Stitt's leadership. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to close at that and say to Attorney General Drummond, if you really want to win, Governor, in this last few days, you have to focus on greater Oklahoma City. That's where you're weak. If you can focus all your energies in greater Oklahoma City, I think you might be able to create a bandwagon effect, which is right now being made by the women's sector of our great state. You might even win by a landslide. And therefore, I'd like to be very clear that the problem with any politician, for that matter, is they promise a lot, but when they're already at the top, all the promises vanish. And that's why politics, not only in the United States, but in other parts of the world, is considered one of the worst professions, because the politicians never really achieve what they promised. On the other hand, Mike Mazzei has a chance, obviously, because he was already on the lead. He had a wide lead at the start, but it fizzled out. Why? Because many believed that his current group simply is not there. They will not address directly the needs of the Oklahomans because he's not from Oklahoma in the first place. And he has certain individuals, as I've said on day one in this campaign, that has tarnished his good image. And one of them is the person by the name of Donald R. Kincaid. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to be very clear. This is serious stuff. If you want to make Oklahoma really continue this fifth surplus and hopefully become the #1 surplus state in the United States, you have to be very involved. You have to be engaged. You have to support your candidate and support his policies and go out there and continue making this society thrive. And if you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions, give me a call at 405-503-8511, and I will be your bridge to our future governor of the 5th surplus state in the 50 states of this great nation we call the United States of America. Good evening, this is Gavin Batista, your host at the Prosperity Channel, saying subscribe and give me a like, and I will see you soon.